note to self, don't film an entire fucking rant before you go into the other giant fucking rant. Because, man, I am so pumped up on adrenaline right now. I want to fucking hit someone. So, movies. I love movies. Don't get me wrong, but there is a lot that is wrong with movies. And the main thing that I think is wrong with movies, along with a lot of other shit, is the way that movies treat women. If you're one of those people that's like, oh no, great, we got another fucking feminist here. God, we're so sick of you, just fucking shut up. Please leave. I am not in the mood to deal with your fucking bullshit. I don't fucking want you here. My job, well, partially to entertain you, is also to use this as an outlet and a video diary. So that's what this is I need to rant about this. And you guys are going to listen because it happens to correspond with the theme of movies. There are a lot of stereotypes that women need to conform to according to mainstream media. We have to be skinny, but we can't be too skinny. If you're fat, then it just sucks for you. If you can't lose weight, then you're just fat and you're ugly, and you can't be too loud, but you can't be too quiet, and you have to be smart, but you can't be too smart. And you have to be pretty, but if you're too pretty, then you're just a slut. And if you're too ugly, then you're just, God forbid any man will ever love you. And if you don't want to give up your entire life to please a man, then what's the fucking point of you? Movies don't help with this. There's been a recent influx of the sexy but mysterious characters in movies, like Catwoman from Dark Knight Rises. That is it. It's like she's designed in a way that you just know that men are looking at her and going, oh, look at how fucking sexy she is. Instead of appreciating the fact that she does so fucking much in that movie. It happens the same with Black Widow in the Marvel films, is that she's a very fucking important character with a lot of layers and a lot of really important backstory, and she does so much, and you just know that people are only focused on her fucking jumpsuit, because God forbid you see someone's boobs. Surprisingly, boobs are a thing. Most people have them. I don't understand why it is that men are so focused on little lumps of flesh. They're just flesh lumps. It's not that exciting. Then there's also the other side of the spectrum, which is the nerdy, shy girl who you take off her glasses and all of a sudden she's fucking gorgeous. And I get that too, but you're perpetuating the idea that there's one or there's the other. That you can be the slut or you can be the ugly nerd. And there's one or the other. You can't sometimes want to go out in a dress, and except sometimes you also want to wear the community t-shirt. Because sometimes I like to be both. I am more than a fucking stereotype. I am more than one-dimensional. I am a three-dimensional, developed, complex woman. And the idea that media is telling me that I can pick one side or the other is fucking bullshit. There's also the difference between a woman who exists in a story and happens to have a romantic arc, and a woman who exists in the story for the sole reason of pleasing the male interest, because God forbid we're here for any other reason just to fucking please men. Also, Chris, I'm not talking to you. Don't get me wrong. But take Doctor Who, for example. Rose Tyler is a strong, independent woman who happens to fall in love with the Doctor. Martha Jones is a strong, independent woman who happens to fall in love with the Doctor. Amy Pond loves Rory, doesn't need him. River Song is there for the sole reason of being married to Eleven. She has no storyline apart from him. And that's awful. That is telling so many people that the only reason you should exist is for someone else's pleasure. That you can't live a life by yourself without men. And there's also the age-old trope that a woman is never happy until she gets a man, which is bullshit. I cannot get married for the rest of my life and be totally satisfied. I don't need a man in my life right now, and that is okay. And the idea that you're telling anyone that is wrong, that they feel like being single, is so fucking dumb. Media has gotten a lot better with this. Movies have gotten so much better with this. Bridesmaids was one of the most influential movies for me and one of the best movies I'd seen in a really long time, because it was almost entirely a female cast that focused mostly on the females. And it proved that you could put females in a movie together and it was fucking hilarious. And it still did well. Which begs the question, why the fuck is there not a Wonder Woman movie? If you're sitting here watching this video saying, that's dumb, none of that shit exists anymore, maybe like a couple of years ago, but it's fine now, I present to you the fact that we don't have a Black Widow film, and we don't have a Wonder Woman film, because both franchises are convinced that no one wants to watch a franchise with a female superhero at the helm. Do you see how that's a problem? Do you realize how many little girls would be so happy to go watch a superhero movie that was about a girl? You could finally, it'd be inspirational. We could finally stop having only little girls, only role models be Disney princesses. Not that Disney princesses are necessarily bad. Rapunzel's a fucking great role model. So is Anna. So is Elsa. Kind of, except for the fact that Elsa's a little fucked up in the head. But my point still stands, is the idea of having a Wonder Woman movie would bring so much inspiration. She is proud and she is strong and she is sexy, but she is not there to put up with any of your fucking bullshit. And the idea of introducing little kids to that, the idea of introducing my 7-year-old sister to that at this age, sounds incredible. Instead of having to wait for them to get to my age and realize that you can read comics with female protagonists in them, and that sometimes female protagonists exist and they're not have a fucking love triangle. How much does it suck that we are implementing misogyny so heavily into movies nowadays that people like littler than me, people younger than me who go to superhero movies and other movies to see the action are getting it implanted in their heads at an early age that this is okay, that this is the way people treat women. There's a reason nothing ever fucking changes, and it's because something has to change higher up on the chain. Because changing something at the bottom of the chain doesn't cause a chain reaction. And while changing one thing is remarkable and incredible, changing more than one thing is insane. And I want to fix this. This needs to be fixed. That's all I got. Enjoy my rant about feminism and movies. I do this every time and you can still see my fucking